Before diving into this incredible story, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, every story has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. Emily Johnson had always been a young woman of striking charm and quick wit. The only child of a wealthy Boston family, she had grown up in material comfort, but with an emotional void that nothing seemed able to fill. Despite numerous suitors and glamorous parties, she often felt alone, searching for something real, a sincere love that would go beyond appearances. It was at a seminar on accessibility and inclusion that she met Daniel Harris. He wasn't like the other men she had met in her social life. Daniel had been disabled since birth and used an electric wheelchair. But what struck Emily from the very first moment wasn't his disability, it was his radiant smile, his gentle voice, and the depth of his gaze. He had that rare ability to make everyone he met feel important, understood, and listened to. At first, Emily felt unsettled. The prejudices and whispers from those around her were persistent. He'll never be able to give you the perfect life you deserve, think of your image. But something about Daniel drew her irresistibly. Every encounter with him was a mixture of laughter, deep conversations about their dreams and fears, and a growing connection she had never experienced before. Over time, Emily began to realize that true love wasn't measured by appearances or societal expectations. She found herself eagerly anticipating their meetings, smiling simply at the thought of him, and experiencing an inner peace she had never known before. Daniel, despite his physical limitations, possessed an inner strength and wisdom that seemed to fill every void in her life. As their wedding day approached, Emily felt her heart pound with excitement and apprehension. She knew this wasn't just a wedding, but the beginning of a new life, where every moment would be a test of love, patience, and courage. On that day, she would discover that fate had prepared the greatest surprise of her life for her, a gift that no amount of wealth or social status could ever provide. On the morning of the wedding, Emily's house was filled with joyful activity. Fresh flowers smelled divine in the living room, and the laughter of the bridesmaids mingled with the final preparations. Emily, in her simple yet elegant white dress, gazed at herself in the mirror with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Every detail had been carefully considered to make this day perfect, her hair delicately styled up, the veil falling gracefully over her shoulders, and her understated jewelry catching the sunlight. Daniel, meanwhile, was getting ready in a neighboring room. Although his electric wheelchair limited his movements, he had learned to manage each step with surprising independence. His mother helped him adjust his tie and check that his suit was impeccable. He smiled, relaxed, aware of the importance of this moment, but also of how lucky he was to share his life with Emily. Family and guests were beginning to arrive. Emily's parents, though a little anxious about Daniel's disability, couldn't deny the obvious joy that lit up their daughter's face. Daniel's loved ones, meanwhile, were filled with pride and emotion, happy to see that their son had found a partner capable of loving him for who he was, and not in spite of his limitations. Emily felt a mixture of nervousness and intense happiness when she saw Daniel waiting for her at the altar. Every gesture he made, every smile, every small movement spoke of an inner strength that Emily had come to admire since the beginning of their relationship. She understood that this wedding was not just the union of two people, but also a celebration of resilience, true love, and courage. As soft music filled the room, Emily took a deep breath. The moment she had waited for all her life was approaching. This wasn't just a formal engagement, it was the promise of a lifetime filled with shared experiences, challenges overcome together, and an unexpected surprise that Daniel had carefully planned, and that Emily would soon discover. The reception hall was elegantly decorated, garlands of white and pink flowers intertwined, chandeliers cast a soft light on the guests' faces, and a red carpet led to the altar. The excited murmurs of the guests grew louder as the ceremony began. Emily, her heart pounding, walked slowly across the carpet. Each step seemed both eternal and fleeting. She saw Daniel, sitting in his wheelchair, his expression radiant and serene. His gaze was fixed on her, filled with love and tenderness, and Emily felt a wave of warmth and gratitude wash over her. The priest began the ceremony with solemn words about love and the union of souls. Emily and Daniel exchanged a knowing glance, each deeply feeling the significance of the moment. Then came the time for vows. Daniel rose slowly, sustained by the strength of his courage and his love. With a clear but emotional voice, he recited his vows. Emily, from day one, you have transformed my life. Your love has given me the strength to believe in us, in our future. I promise to support you, to listen to you, and to cherish you every day, in easy times as well as in difficult times. Emily felt tears welling up, unable to contain her emotion. She replied in turn, her voice trembling but sincere. Daniel, you are the man who opened my heart. Your courage, your generosity, and your smile brighten every day of my life. I promise to support you, to laugh with you, and to build a future filled with love and happiness by your side. As the guests applauded, the priest announced an additional, unexpected ritual. To seal your union, you will open this symbolic chest together, prepared by the future groom. Intrigued, Emily watched Daniel open a small box he had placed beside her. Inside were carefully written letters, photos, and mementos of each significant moment in their relationship. Each item told a story of complicity, patience, and challenges overcome. But the biggest surprise was yet to come. Among the letters was a key and an envelope bearing only her name. Emily opened it and discovered a message that left her speechless. This key opens the house I bought for us. It's the beginning of our new life together, full of dreams and plans. Thank you for loving me as I am. Emily felt her heart burst with joy. She understood then that Daniel's true gift wasn't just material, but an expression of his love, devotion, and shared vision for the future. The guests, witnessing this moving scene, were touched to tears by this demonstration of pure and sincere love. That day, Emily realized that happiness lies not in perfection or appearance, but in the depths of another's heart. And this revelation marked the beginning of a new chapter in their lives, where each day would be a celebration of love and complicity. After the ceremony, Emily and Daniel left the altar to join their guests, but her mind was still captivated by the small box and the key she held in her hands. A whirlwind of emotions filled her: love, wonder, and above all, an intense curiosity about what Daniel might have planned for her next. Once the reception had calmed down a bit, Daniel took Emily's hand and led her away to a quiet corner of the garden, which had been decorated for the ceremony. He smiled at her, looking slightly shy, but determined. Emily, there's something else I want to show you, he said, his voice soft but full of emotion. He took out a larger envelope and slowly opened it in front of her. Inside, several documents and notes were waiting. A plane ticket for a trip around the world that he had secretly organized, so that they would discover a collection of unique cultures, landscapes, and experiences. A detailed plan for creating an association intended to help disabled people, in order to make their daily life easier and inspiring other couples to overcome their limits. Letters and photos retracing all their moments shared, from the most joyful to the most difficult, like a testimony of their journey together. The key she had already seen, which opened the house that Daniel had secretly bought it for the two of them, symbolizing their shared future. Emily felt her hands tremble and her eyes fill with tears. Every gesture, every word, every plan showed how much Daniel loved her and had thought about their future happiness. It wasn't just a surprise, it was tangible proof of the depth of his love and commitment. Daniel. I never imagined all this, she murmured, overwhelmed by emotion. Daniel gently took her in his arms and added, Emily, I wanted you to see that love isn't measured by appearances or circumstances. It's measured by actions, patience, and how we build a future together. I want each day to be another step towards our dreams. Emily felt a mixture of gratitude, pride, and pure happiness. She realized that her marriage was not only the union of two hearts, but also a commitment to share a life full of plans, love, and companionship, regardless of the obstacles. At that moment, she knew that the greatest surprise of her life was not just the house or the trip, but discovering the incredible man she had chosen to marry, a man whose heart was bigger and more generous than she could ever have imagined. The evening progressed and the reception was in full swing. Guests laughed, danced, and exchanged congratulations, but Emily and Daniel seemed to be in their own bubble of happiness. Hand in hand, they strolled among their loved ones, responding to smiles and compliments, but their thoughts were entirely focused on each other. Emily, still shaken by Daniel's revelations, turned to him and said emotionally, "I never imagined that love could be both so simple and so profound. Every gesture you made today, every thought you had for us, it's incredible." Daniel smiled at her, his eyes shining with infinite tenderness. "Emily, everything I've done for you, and for us. Our love doesn't need outside validation. What matters is what we build together, not what others think." They then headed towards the house Daniel had secretly bought. Emily inserted the key into the lock, her heart pounding. The door opened onto a warm and bright interior, carefully decorated to reflect their personalities and their shared love. Every detail, from the framed photos of their past moments to the symbolic objects of their shared dreams, told their story and their journey. "This is our sanctuary," Daniel murmurs, "a place where we can create our lives, overcome all challenges, and pursue our dreams together." Emily felt a wave of gratitude and emotion wash over her. She understood that the true gift of this marriage wasn't material, it wasn't the house, the trip, or the plans. It was the unconditional love, respect, and deep connection they shared. It was the certainty that, despite the obstacles and judgments, they had found in each other a partner capable of sharing every moment with sincerity and courage. As night fell and the city lights twinkled in the distance, Emily and Daniel settled on the balcony of their new house, gazing at the starry sky. Emily rested her head on Daniel's shoulder and whispered, "I've never been happier in my life, thank you for being you." Daniel shook his hand and replied with a smile, "And thank you for believing in us, today marks the beginning of our real adventure." That day, Emily understood that true love transcends all boundaries, that happiness lies in shared understanding, and that life's greatest surprise can sometimes be discovering the soul of someone capable of loving you infinitely. Their wedding was not just a celebration, but the beginning of a life full of promise, dreams fulfilled, and eternal love.